Who is Joe Scally, and was he snubbed from the US men's national team October roster? Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and after many requests, we're doing a player bio video for Joe Scally so you can learn more about him. I'll dive into his story when he was a kid, how he became who he is today, how he got into soccer, his stats, his time on New York City FC, on Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think I learned how to say their name properly. Along with that, I'll be talking about his current situation with the US men's national team and not getting called up after starting every single game in Bundesliga and getting some weird selections over him. I'll talk about it if I think he was actually snubbed, if it was fair, if not, in my opinion on it. And at the very end of the video, I will be telling you one player that's retired or a veteran that I think he has a similar playing style to, and hopefully he can live to the potential. While you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you like this type of content, and also hit that notification bell. Don't forget, we'll be doing a full coverage of the US men's national team throughout camp with previews, watch-alongs, everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking too much. With that said, let's play the intro and let's talk about Joe Scally. Born in 2002 in Lake Grove at Long Island, New York. Yes, Long Island, which I know fairly well as I did live 5 to 6 years in Long Island myself. Joe Scally is a new promising fullback for the US men's national team, even though he wasn't called up, in Borussia Mönchengladbach. But how did he get here? In a country like the US, which soccer is not the number one sport and there's so many other sports and other resources, I always wonder, how is someone as athletic and as talented as Joe Scally end up at soccer? So let's talk about that. Let's dive into his little history and how he got where he is today. So for that, let's quote Joe Scally first. On an interview to Bundesliga, let's see what he says of how he got into soccer. So quote Joe Scally: "My mom played soccer when she was younger, so right away she and my dad put me and my brother into soccer, and I've always followed my brother's footsteps. So when he started playing, I instantly wanted to play, and it just went on from there. I would say my brother helped me a lot. He was always older than me, and he always played soccer before me. He played basketball before me as well. So I've always looked up to him, and he's always helped me out with everything that I've ever did." So yeah, so essentially his mom is a soccer player, so she got him into soccer, and his brother always helped him, probably mostly in regards to his development. Joe Scally joined the New York City FC Academy in 2015. But before he joined that academy, he actually played for a team in Long Island. Scally played for the Sachem Destroyers, and interestingly enough, he was very versatile. He was able to play as a defender, midfielder, and even as a forward at the time of the club, according to his coach Frank Schmidt back on an interview all the way back in 2018. So back to 2015, Joe Scally would go on to join the New York City FC U13 Academy, where he played with another US men's national team super talent, Giovanni Reyna. Reyna eventually opted from going to the academy straight to Dortmund, while Scally, he did sign a homegrown deal, and then eventually went to the Bundesliga as well, just like his fellow teammate Giovanni Reyna. Now in March 21st of 2018, Scally signed with the New York City FC as a homegrown player, becoming just their second graduate from the academy. Along with that, he became the second youngest signing in MLS history, only behind Freddie Adu. Today, October of 2021, he sits at the 6th place for youngest signing ever. Yeah, so other players surpassed him, but at the time, he was the youngest signing ever, only behind Freddie Adu. He made his professional debut for the New York City FC at June 2018 against the New York Red Bulls for the US Open Cup. And now, let's quote him from an interview in Bundesliga about that specific game and his debut. And this is Joe Scally's words. "It was great. We had David Villa on the team and I got subbed in for him, so he gave me great tips when I was going into the game. It helped me out a lot. The coaches said, go out there and have fun. It was against our rivals, the New York Red Bulls, so it was a great game for me to play. We lost 4-0, so I'll never forget that, but it was just amazing." For the New York City FC, he did only have 7 caps, but he also had some youth year games as well. However, that was enough to catch the attention of Borussia Mönchengladbach. In November of 2019, he did sign with them already in November of 2019 for $2 million plus incentives. However, the actual move to the Bundesliga did not happen until January of 2021, so over a year after the signing. Now, when he arrived in January of 2021, this year, right, we're recording on October of 2021, he stayed 6 months with Borussia Mönchengladbach's backup team, their reserve squad. He played 6 months there until we arrived in this season, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. Which that brings us to the present. So let me talk now about his bio. We're going to go into his Gladbach days right now, and then I'm going to talk about the men's national team, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you which player I think he compares to, or has a similar playing style to, and is a veteran or a retired player. Joseph Scally, born December 31st of 2002. So he's 18, turning 19 at the very last day of this year. He's 1.84 meters tall, so a little bit over 6 feet. That's pretty tall for a fullback. He's right-footed. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He can play as a right back, left back, or a wing back. His nationality is American, so he's from the United States. And his market value currently is $2.2 million, but it's most certainly higher than that and will be updated very soon at Transfer Market. Now let's talk about his time at Gladbach, which is the present. As I said, he signed with them in 2019, at December 2019, and he only arrived in January of 2021. Those 6 months leading to the summer of 2021, he played for Borussia Mönchengladbach's B team, their reserve squad, where he played 15 games and scored 1 goal. Which leads us to now, this season, the 2021-2022 season, where he's been playing a lot for the senior squad. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button right now. For this season, there has been 7 games, 6 of them being Bundesliga and 1 being the DFB Pokal, the German Cup. Scally played all of them, and he didn't just play all of them, he started and played a full 90 minutes for every single match. And throughout those matches, he mixed his position. He played as a left back, left wing back, right wing back. He played all over the field. He made his Bundesliga debut against Bayern, and man, he held his own in that match with a very strong performance against Super Bayern, and we know it's not easy to do that. At age 18 on his Bundesliga debut, give him a round of applause right there. Nothing but impressive. Yes, there were injuries at Gladbach that most certainly benefited Scally with the minutes, and he got lucky with that. But in life, you do need to be lucky, but it's also all about how you grab your opportunities. And Joe Scally most certainly grabbed the opportunities and took full advantage of them. So luck can only get you so far. So congratulations to Joe Scally. Yes, luck helped him, but his talent, his hard work are what got him in the position he is today as a starter of a pretty good Bundesliga team. For this season, he has been averaging 77.5 touches per game, 85% passing accuracy, 1.5 interceptions per game, 1.5 tackles, and 2 clearances. All these stats are per game. Alright, now we've reached the US men's national team. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of his youth years of the US men's national team, and then I'm going to talk about the senior squad, and I think he was snubbed or not, and I'll tell you why. So for the US men's national team U15, Joe Scally has 9 games and 2 goals. Now for the U17, he has more matches. He played 22 games and he scored 1 goal throughout it. So he has plenty of experience with the US men's national team at the youth level with 31 caps total, including playing on a FIFA U17 World Cup back in 2019, where he played all 3 games and got 1 assist, where the US was knocked out on the group stage. It's also worth mentioning that he did score the game-winning goal against Brazil in October of 2018 at a U17 International Youth Tournament hosted in England. That's just a little fun fact. Because I'm Brazilian American, I thought it was worth mentioning. Okay, so there's not that much to talk about the youth years besides those games and the experience he has. Let's talk about the senior squad right now. So, do I think he got snubbed? In my personal opinion, yes, I do believe he got snubbed. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Some will argue he doesn't know the system. He has no experience. The only way he can get to know the system or get experience is if he's called in. So technically, you could still bring Serginho Dest and Yedlin, and the players that Greg brought were Shaq Moore, Dest, and Yedlin for the right back position, which is Joe Scally's main position. So I would bring Joe Scally instead of Shaq Moore. I do personally think he was snubbed. Scally can also play the right back and the left back, which is something that Dest can do as well. Versatility is always important. But the most important part of it is, look, our main fullbacks, Dest and Robinson, essentially, they lack one thing, which is defense. Their defense is not the best. And that's something Scally brings. And I think Scally should have been the roster. My personal opinion, he was snubbed. Could he have started? Probably not. But Greg will be Greg. Alright, now let's go to the final section of the video where I'm going to talk about a player that's retired, actually, that I think Joe Scally has a similar playing style to, and hopefully he can live to the expectation of this player. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing if you made it this far in the video and hitting the like button. Let's go to the final section of the video. Okay, so Joe Scally himself on previous interviews has said that his favorite player is Dani Alves, but I don't think he has a similar playing style to Dani Alves, not one bit. Completely different. Not just the potential, just not the way he plays. But I do think he reminds me of a former Brazilian right back that even played with Dani Alves at times. The player he reminds me of a lot of the times is Maicon, that played for Inter Milan as a right back as well. He was a right back, and he played for the Brazilian national team back in the 2010 World Cup. Maicon has size, physicality, solid on defense, and good support on offense. Only thing I think Scally could improve to be a bit more similar to Maicon is his support on the offensive end on the final third. Maicon was much more dangerous up top. But look, Scally's only 18. The playing style, the physical attributes remind me a lot of one another. Scally has surprised me this season, and he's actually doing well as a wingback as well. So he could be a good support on offense, showing that he can play good up top and good defense. And look, is he ever going to live to the potential of Maicon? I don't know, maybe not. I'm just saying the playing style reminds, the size, the way he carries the ball, a lot of the things reminds me of Maicon. I watched Maicon a lot from 2006 to 2010 with the Brazilian national team. Now, one thing I want to add that Maicon never did and Joe Scally can do is Maicon never played right and left back. Joe Scally is actually capable of playing both. That's a bonus. That's a plus. But that's just me. Let me quote Joe Scally on how he describes himself as a player. And this is a quote from an interview also in the Bundesliga website. And quote Scally right now. "My main thing is my athleticism. I am very fast, strong, physical player who likes to get up and down the field. And I love getting into one-on-one duels and headers in the air. And I love to play on the ground and keep possession. Those are my main traits." Before we end, I also want to quote Claudio Reyna, a US men's national team legend, and what he thinks of Joe Scally, because he did work at New York City FC at the time Joe Scally was in the academy, and obviously Giovanni Reyna as well. So Claudio Reyna has some strong opinions on Joe Scally. So quote Claudio Reyna, "Not only was he the most talented player in our region, but Joe was one of the most talented right backs in his age group in the world," said Claudio Reyna at the time he was a New York City FC sporting director. Now he's the sporting director of Austin FC. Alright guys, that does it for the video. Let me know what you think of Joe Scally. Was he snubbed or not from the US men's national team roster? What player does he have a playing style that reminds you of? And do you think he will eventually start for the US men's national team? Have you been following Joe Scally? Don't forget to hit the like button before you go. Thank you for watching everyone, and have a great day.